Good day, dear reader. Let's delve into a rather fascinating, if somewhat morbid, tale from Victorian London. Picture this, a city teeming with life, but also grappling with death. The Industrial Revolution brought progress, yes, but it also ushered in a population boom, leading to, well, an excess of corpses. The existing cemeteries, you see, were overflowing, crammed full of dearly departed souls. It was a ghastly sight, and a public health hazard to boot. Cholera and other diseases ran rampant. Something had to be done, and quickly. The Victorians, despite their reputation for decorum, were quite pragmatic. They needed a solution, and a radical one at that. Enter the concept of the garden cemetery, a revolutionary idea at the time. These new cemeteries were designed to be not just places of burial, but also serene parks where the living could find solace. The first of these, Kensal Green Cemetery, opened in 1833, setting a new standard. Soon, other garden cemeteries followed, like Highgate and Brompton, transforming the landscape of London. These cemeteries not only alleviated the overcrowding, but also became places of beauty and reflection. The Victorians had turned a crisis into an opportunity for innovation and improvement. Today, these cemeteries stand as a testament to their ingenuity and resilience. So, next time you stroll through one of these historic sites, remember the story behind their creation, a tale of life, death, and the enduring human spirit. The year was 1852. London was a bustling metropolis, teeming with life and inevitably death. The city's graveyards were overflowing, and something had to be done. The Burial Act was passed, paving the way for a grand solution to London's burial woes. This act was a significant legislative move aimed at addressing the dire need for more burial space in the rapidly growing city. A private company, the London Necropolis Company, was formed with an ambitious plan. Their vision was to create a vast, serene resting place far from the crowded city, where the deceased could be laid to rest in peace. They purchased a sprawling 2,000-acre plot of land in Brookwood, Surrey, a good distance from the city's teeming masses. This location was chosen for its tranquility and ample space, ensuring it could serve as a final resting place for generations to come. This, they declared, would be the site of a magnificent new cemetery, Brookwood Cemetery. It was envisioned as a place of beauty and peace, a stark contrast to the overcrowded and unsanitary graveyards of London. But how to transport the deceased? The distance from London to Brookwood posed a significant challenge. Why, by railway, of course. The Victorians were pioneers of the railway age, and it seemed only fitting to use this modern marvel to solve their burial crisis. Thus, the London Necropolis Railway was born. This unique railway line was specifically designed to transport the dead and their mourners from the heart of London to the serene expanses of Brookwood. It was a marvel of Victorian engineering, connecting the bustling heart of London to the peaceful serenity of Brookwood Cemetery. The railway line was meticulously planned and constructed, showcasing the era's engineering prowess. This was not a mere branch line. It was a dedicated route for the dearly departed and their grieving mourners. The London Necropolis Railway provided a dignified and efficient means of transport, ensuring that even in death, the citizens of London could journey with respect and care. Brookwood Cemetery was no ordinary graveyard. Oh no. It was envisioned as a grand necropolis, a city for the dead. And indeed it was vast, meticulously planned and divided into different sections for various religious denominations. There were separate areas for Anglicans, nonconformists, and even Jews. This meticulous organization reflected the social sensibilities of the Victorian era, even in death. The cemetery was designed with beauty in mind, too. Lush landscaping, serene ponds, and winding paths created an atmosphere of tranquility and remembrance. It was a far cry from the cramped, overflowing graveyards within the city limits. Now, you might be wondering, how did this deathly commute actually work? How did the Victorians manage to transport the deceased with such efficiency and respect? Quite efficiently, I assure you, the Victorians were nothing if not meticulous in their planning and execution. The journey began at a specially constructed station, appropriately named London Necropolis Station. This station was not just any ordinary station, it was built with a specific purpose in mind. It was a somber building designed to evoke a sense of solemnity and respect. The architecture itself was meant to remind visitors of the gravity of their journey. Mourners could accompany their loved ones on their final journey, purchasing tickets for themselves and the deceased. This allowed families to stay together even in the face of loss. Yes, dear reader, even in death, there were fares to be paid. The tickets were not just for the living, but also for the deceased, ensuring that every aspect of the journey was accounted for. The process was remarkably organized. The Victorians prided themselves on their ability to manage even the most somber of tasks with precision. Coffins were carefully loaded onto specially designed railway wagons. These wagons were built to ensure that the deceased were transported with the utmost care and respect. These wagons were divided into compartments to separate coffins based on class, ensuring that the social hierarchies of the living world were maintained even in death. Because, of course, even in death, one's social standing mattered. The Victorians believed that the dignity of the deceased should reflect their status in life, and this was meticulously upheld throughout the journey. Section 5. First class to eternity inside the Necropolis train. The Necropolis Railway boasted separate carriages for different classes of passengers, both living and deceased. First-class carriages were plush and comfortable, offering mourners a more dignified and private grieving space. The coffins in these carriages were also handled with extra care, often placed on raised platforms for greater respect. The carriages for the less affluent were, understandably, more Spartan, yet they served their purpose, transporting the deceased with dignity and care. This class distinction in death might seem a tad morbid to us now, but it was very much a reflection of the rigid social hierarchy of Victorian England. Section 6. Brookwood, a city for the dead. Upon arriving at Brookwood, the train pulled into one of two stations, the North Station for nonconformists and the South Station for Anglicans. The deceased were then unloaded and carried to their designated burial plots. The mourners disembarked, their final farewells said, left to make the return journey on the Necropolis Railway. Over the years, Brookwood Cemetery became the final resting place for a diverse cross-section of society. From humble labourers to wealthy merchants, artists and soldiers, all found their final repose in this sprawling necropolis. The London Necropolis Railway, for all its practicality, couldn't escape the ingrained class distinctions of Victorian England. The cost of a funeral, you see, varied greatly depending on the chosen class of service. For the wealthy, there were elaborate funeral packages. These included luxurious first-class train travel, ornate coffins, and prominent burial plots marked with grand monuments. The poor, however, often had to make do with much simpler arrangements. They travelled in third-class carriages, their loved ones laid to rest in more modest sections of the cemetery. Even in death, it seemed, the stark realities of social hierarchy were inescapable. Alas, the London Necropolis Railway, despite its initial success, was not destined for a long and prosperous life. The turn of the 20th century saw the rise of cremation as a more affordable and practical alternative to burial. This, coupled with the growing popularity of motor vehicles, which offered a more flexible mode of transport, chipped away at the railway's relevance. Then came the Second World War. The Blitz, with its devastating air raids, caused significant damage to the London Necropolis station. While this station was partially repaired, the railway never fully recovered. The London Necropolis Railway officially closed its doors in 1941. The London Necropolis Railway may be gone, but it is far from forgotten. The remnants of the railway, including sections of track and platforms at Brookwood Cemetery, serve as a haunting reminder of this bygone era. The old London Necropolis station, though no longer used for its original purpose, still stands, now part of a commercial development. The railway's legacy extends beyond these physical reminders. It has seeped into popular culture, inspiring countless books, films, and television shows. The very notion of a death train continues to fascinate and intrigue, a testament to the enduring power of this Victorian oddity. From spooky Victorian novels to modern-day television dramas, the London Necropolis Railway has captivated the imaginations of writers and artists. The railway's unique blend of the macabre and the mundane, the efficient transportation of death, continues to resonate with audiences. Perhaps it's a reminder of our own mortality, or perhaps it's the sheer Victorian-ness of it all that we find so intriguing. Whatever the reason, the London Necropolis Railway remains a fascinating footnote in the annals of history. It's a testament to human ingenuity, our endless capacity for invention, even in the face of death.